It was a sunny afternoon in Maple Grove. Maple Grove was a small, quiet place. Kids rode bikes on the street. Dogs barked at squirrels. Neighbors waved hello. Nothing big ever happened here. No loud parties. No wild adventures. Just calm, boring days. That's how it was for years. Everyone liked it that way, or so they thought. Then, one day, something changed. A moving truck rolled into town. It stopped at the little yellow house on 12 Maple Lane. The house had been empty for months. Weeds grew tall in the yard. The paint was peeling. Nobody cared about it. But now, someone new was here. Her name was Mia Parker. Mia stepped out of the truck. She looked like a regular girl. Her hair was tied up in a messy bun. It looked like she hadn't brushed it in days. She wore old sneakers with holes in them. Her jeans were faded. Her t-shirt was plain blue. She carried a box labeled books and plopped it on the grass. She didn't smile much. She didn't wave to anyone. She just started unloading more boxes. One by one. Quietly. The neighbors peeked out their windows. "Who's that?" they whispered. "She doesn't look fancy," one lady said. "Maybe she's just a college kid," said another. "She won't cause trouble," a man nodded. They all agreed, Mia was nothing special. Just a new girl moving in. No big deal. At least, that's what they thought. But oh boy, were they wrong. Mia wasn't just any girl. She had a secret. A big one. A secret so huge it could shake up this sleepy little street. Nobody saw it coming. Not the kids on their bikes. Not the dogs chasing squirrels. And definitely not the neighbors spying from behind their curtains. Mia looked normal, but looks can trick you. Something wild was hiding inside her. Something that would make everyone's eyes pop wide open. Across the street lived Karen Thompson. Karen was the boss of the neighborhood. Well, she thought she was. She was the president of the HOA. That's the group that makes rules for houses. Karen loved rules. She loved them more than ice cream on a hot day. She carried a clipboard everywhere. It was like her best friend. She wrote down everything she didn't like. That mailbox is too red, she'd scribble. That grass is too long, she'd grumble. That flower pot is ugly, she'd huff. Nobody argued with Karen. They were too scared. She was loud and mean. Her voice could wake up a sleeping bear. Karen saw Mia right away. She stood on her porch, squinting hard. Her eyes were like lasers. She didn't like new people. New people meant trouble. And Mia? Mia looked like trouble to Karen. Not because she was loud or messy. No, Mia was too quiet. Too plain. Karen didn't trust plain people. New girl, huh, she muttered under her breath. She gripped her clipboard tighter. We'll see about her. Mia didn't notice Karen yet. She was busy. She carried boxes into her house. She hummed a little song. It was soft, like a whisper. The wind carried it away. She set up a porch swing too. It was old and wooden. It creaked when she sat on it. She smiled a tiny bit. The swing rocked back and forth. Back and forth. It was peaceful. For a minute, everything felt normal. Just a girl and her swing on a sunny day. But Karen didn't think it was peaceful. Oh no. She marched across the street. Her flip-flops slapped the pavement. Slap, slap, slap. She stopped in front of Mia's house. She stared at the swing. Her nose wrinkled up. What's this? She barked. Mia looked up. It's a swing, she said. Her voice was calm. Too calm for Karen's liking. I see that. Karen snapped. But it's ugly. It doesn't fit here. Take it down. Mia tilted her head. She didn't say much. Just, okay, Karen. Then she went back to rocking. Back and forth. Back and forth. Karen's face turned pink. She wasn't used to people ignoring her. I mean it, she yelled. This isn't over. She stormed back to her house, muttering. She wrote something on her clipboard. Probably something mean about Mia. The neighbors watched it all. Poor Mia, they whispered. Karen's gonna eat her alive. They felt bad for the new girl. She seemed nice. Quiet. Harmless. They thought she'd give up fast. Maybe move away. Karen always won. That's how it worked in Maple Grove. Nobody could beat her. Nobody even tried. But here's the thing, Mia wasn't scared. Not one bit. She didn't look tough. She didn't act big. But deep down, she was different. She had a sparkle in her eye. A tiny one. You'd miss it if you weren't looking. It was like she knew something. Something nobody else did. Something that made her smile inside, even when Karen yelled. What was it? What was Mia hiding? Nobody knew yet. Not Karen. Not the neighbors. Not even the birds chirping in the trees. Mia's secret was locked up tight. Like a treasure chest with no key. But secrets don't stay secret forever. Sooner or later, they come out. And when Mia's secret came out, oh man, it was gonna be big. Bigger than a fireworks show. Bigger than a roller coaster drop. Bigger than anything Maple Grove had ever seen. Let's go back to that first day. Mia finished unloading her truck. The sun was setting now. The sky turned orange and pink. It was pretty. She sat on her swing again. She sipped a glass of lemonade. The ice clinked in the glass. Clink, clink. She looked happy. Relaxed. Like nothing could bother her. Not even Karen. Karen watched from her window. She didn't like happy people. Happy people made her mad. She grabbed her phone. She dialed a number. Hello, HOA meeting tomorrow, she barked into it. We've got a problem. A new girl problem. She hung up and smirked. She had a plan. A mean one. She always had mean plans. That's what made her Karen. The next day, the HOA meeting happened. It was in Karen's garage. Folding chairs were set up. Neighbors sat down, nervous. Karen stood in front. She held her clipboard like a shield. Listen up, she said. This Mia girl is trouble. That swing? It's against the rules. Rule 47B. No ugly stuff allowed. The neighbors nodded. They didn't want to fight her. We'll make her take it down, Karen said. Or else. Mia wasn't at the meeting. She didn't even know about it. She was home, reading a book. Her swing rocked outside. She didn't care about rules. Not Karen's rules, anyway. She had her own plans. Plans nobody could guess. Plans that would turn everything upside down. The neighbors went home after the meeting. They felt bad. Mia seems nice, one said. But Karen's right. Rules are rules. They didn't know Mia. They didn't know her secret. They just saw a girl with a messy bun and old sneakers. That's all they cared about. Looks. Not the stuff inside. Days went by. Mia kept to herself. She watered her flowers. She waved at kids on bikes. She rocked on her swing. The neighbors got used to her. Maybe she's okay, they said. Maybe Karen will leave her alone. But Karen? She didn't leave anyone alone. She watched Mia like a hawk. Every day, she found something new to hate. The swing. The flowers. The way Mia's truck was parked. Everything. One afternoon, Karen snapped. She saw Mia painting her mailbox. It was a bright blue color. Karen hated bright colors. That's it, she yelled. She ran over. No blue mailboxes, she shouted. Mia looked up. Paint dripped from her brush. It's just a mailbox, she said. Karen shook her head. It's ugly. Change it? Mia shrugged. Okay, Karen, she said again. Calm as ever. Karen stomped away. She was boiling mad. Mia wasn't fighting back. That made it worse. Karen wanted a fight. She wanted to win. But Mia? She just kept smiling. That little smile. That secret smile. It drove Karen nuts. What's she up to? Karen muttered. She didn't know. But she'd find out soon. Too soon. The truth was, Mia wasn't just a girl with a swing. She wasn't just a girl with a blue mailbox. She was something more. Something huge. She moved to Maple Grove for a reason. Not to hide. Not to rest. But to do something. Something that would make Karen's jaw drop. Something that would make the neighbors cheer. Something that would flip this quiet little street upside down. Think about it. Why would a girl like Mia come to a place like this? Why would she stay when Karen was so mean? What was she waiting for? What was in her head? Nobody knew. Not yet. But the clues were there. The swing. The smile. The way she didn't care about Karen's yelling. Little hints. Tiny pieces of a big puzzle. Let's imagine Mia for a second. Picture her on that swing. Rocking back and forth. Sipping lemonade. The sun's shining. The birds are singing. She looks normal. Boring, even. But inside. Inside, she's a volcano. Ready to burst. Ready to surprise everyone. That's what made her special. That's what made her secret so juicy. Karen didn't see it. She saw a weak girl. A girl she could boss around. She saw old sneakers and a messy bun. She didn't see the fire. She didn't see the strength. She didn't see the plan. But she would. Oh, she would. And when she did, it'd be too late. The neighbors didn't see it either. They saw a new girl. A quiet girl. A girl who'd lose to Karen. They felt sorry for her. Poor Mia, they said again. She doesn't know what's coming. But they were wrong. Mia knew exactly what was coming. She was counting on it. She was ready. So, what was Mia hiding? What was her big secret? Was it something funny? Something scary? Something amazing? You'll have to stick around to find out. Because this story? It's just getting started. And trust me, it's gonna get good. Really good. The kind of good that makes you jump up and say, no way. Picture Maple Grove again. The sun's still shining. The kids are still biking. The dogs are still barking. It's quiet. It's normal. But not for long. Mia's here now. And Mia's secret? It's like a storm cloud rolling in. You can't see it yet. But you can feel it. The air's buzzing. Something's coming. Something big. Karen's plotting. Mia's waiting. The neighbors are watching. Who's gonna win? The loud lady with the clipboard? Or the quiet girl with the swing? It's a battle nobody expected. A battle that's gonna shake the street to its core. And it all starts with Mia. Sweet, sneaky Mia. So, what do you think? What's Mia up to? Why's she so calm? Drop your guesses below. Tell me what you'd do if you were her. Would you fight Karen? Would you run? Or would you sit on your swing and smile? Let's hear it. Because this story's about to take off, and you don't want to miss it. Mia had just moved into Maple Grove. She barely had time to unpack her boxes. Her little yellow house was still a mess. Clothes spilled out of bags. Books sat in piles. Dishes stayed in the sink. She was trying to settle in, one step at a time. She wanted to make her new home cozy. That's why she hung up the porch swing. Yep, a simple wooden swing. It wasn't fancy. It wasn't new. It creaked a little when she sat on it. But Mia loved it. She'd sit there with a glass of lemonade. She'd watch the sun go down. The sky would turn orange, then pink, then purple. It was her favorite part of the day. But someone didn't like that swing. That someone was Karen Thompson. Karen lived across the street. She was the HOA president. HOA means the group that makes rules for the neighborhood. Karen loved rules more than anything. She loved telling people what to do. And she really loved yelling when they didn't listen. She was loud. She was bossy. And she had a clipboard she carried everywhere. That clipboard was her weapon. She wrote down every little thing she hated. And she hated a lot. It all started one afternoon. Mia was on her swing. She rocked back and forth. The creak creak sound filled the air. She sipped her lemonade. Ice clinked in the glass. Clink, clink. She smiled a tiny smile. The sun was warm on her face. Everything felt perfect. But then, she heard footsteps. Fast ones. Angry ones. Slap, slap, slap went Karen's flip-flops on the pavement. Mia looked up. There was Karen, stomping toward her. Karen's face was red. Really red. Like a big, juicy tomato. What's that? Karen yelled. She pointed at the swing like it was a monster. Mia blinked. It's a swing, she said. Her voice was soft. Quiet. Nice. But Karen didn't care. It's an eyesore, she barked. It's ugly. It doesn't belong here. She crossed her arms. Her clipboard dangled from her hand. It breaks Rule 47B of the HOA code. No ugly stuff allowed. Take it down right now, or I'll call the cops. The neighbors heard the yelling. They peeked out their windows. Curtains moved. Eyes watched. Oh no, one lady whispered. Karen's mad again. A man shook his head. That new girl's in trouble. Kids on bikes stopped riding. They stared. Even a dog stopped barking to look. Everyone knew Karen meant business. When she said cops, she wasn't kidding. She'd called them before. Once over a loud radio. Another time over a messy lawn. Karen loved trouble. And now, she was bringing it to Mia. But Mia? She didn't yell back. She didn't jump up. She didn't even frown. She just smiled. A little, tiny smile. Okay, Karen, she said. Her voice was still soft. She rocked on her swing. Back and forth. Back and forth. The creak creak sound kept going. Karen's eyes got big. She wasn't used to this. People usually argued. Or they begged. Or they ran inside. But Mia? She just sat there. Calm as a lake on a quiet day. Karen's face got redder. Did you hear me? She shouted. Take it down. Now. Mia nodded. Okay, Karen, she said again. She sipped her lemonade. Clink, clink went the ice. She didn't move. She didn't take the swing down. She just rocked. Back and forth. Karen huffed. She puffed. She looked like a balloon about to pop. This isn't over, she snapped. Then she turned and stomped away. Slap, slap, slap went her flip-flops. She was mad. Really mad. But here's the thing. Mia's eyes? They had a spark. A little twinkle. You had to look close to see it. Most people wouldn't notice. Karen didn't. The neighbors didn't. But it was there. A spark that said, I'm not scared. A spark that said, I've got something up my sleeve. Mia wasn't weak. She wasn't a pushover. Karen thought she was. Karen thought Mia would cry or give up. Oh, how wrong she was. So wrong. Every mean word Karen said. Every loud yell. It didn't bother Mia. It was like throwing sticks into a fire. The fire just got bigger. Stronger. Hotter. Mia was that fire. Quiet on the outside. Burning on the inside. Karen didn't know it yet. But she was poking a bear. A bear with a secret. A bear that wasn't gonna stay quiet forever. The next day, Karen came back. She had her clipboard ready. She stood in Mia's yard. I told you, she shouted. That swing's gotta go. Mia was watering her flowers. She held a green watering can. Water splashed on the petals. She looked up at Karen. It's just a swing, she said. Karen shook her head. No. It's ugly. It's against the rules. You're new here, so I'll tell you how it works. I'm in charge. You listen to me. Mia smiled again. That little smile. Okay, Karen, she said. She went back to watering her flowers. Splash, splash. Karen stared. Her mouth opened. Then closed. Then opened again. You're not listening, she yelled. Mia shrugged. I heard you, she said. It's just a swing. Karen threw her hands up. You'll be sorry, she shouted. She wrote something on her clipboard. Scribble, scribble. Then she marched away. The neighbors saw it all. Poor Mia, they whispered. Karen's gonna crush her. They felt bad. Mia seemed nice. She didn't fight. She didn't yell. She just smiled and rocked on her swing. She's too soft, one man said. She won't last, A lady nodded. They thought Karen would win. Karen always won. That's how it was in Maple Grove. Nobody could stop her. Nobody tried. But Mia wasn't soft. Not really. She was tough. Tough like a rock. You couldn't see it on the outside. She didn't look strong. Her sneakers were old. Her bun was messy. She didn't talk loud. But inside, she was steel. Hard and shiny. Karen's yelling didn't scare her. It made her stronger. Every mean word was like a match. It lit her up. She was waiting. Planning. Getting ready. Karen didn't stop with the swing. Oh no. She found more things to hate. The next day, it was Mia's flowers. Too bright. Karen yelled. She stood on the sidewalk, pointing. They hurt my eyes. Cut them down. Mia was sweeping her porch. She leaned on her broom. They're just flowers, she said. Karen shook her clipboard. They're ugly. Rules say no ugly stuff. Mia nodded. Okay, Karen, she said. She kept sweeping. Swish, swish. Karen's face turned purple now. She wasn't used to this. People didn't say okay and then ignore her. They obeyed. They fixed things. They said sorry. But Mia? She didn't. She just kept going. Smiling. Sweeping. Rocking. It drove Karen crazy. I'll fix you. Karen muttered. She wrote more on her clipboard. Scribble, scribble, scribble. She had a list now. A long one. All about Mia. The neighbors watched every fight. They hid behind curtains. They whispered over fences. Karen's gonna call the cops soon, one said. She always does, another agreed. Mia doesn't know what's coming, a kid added. They thought Mia was clueless. They thought she was weak. They thought Karen would scare her away. But they didn't see that spark. That little twinkle in Mia's eyes. They didn't know what it meant. One evening, Karen went too far. Mia was on her swing again. The sun was setting. The sky was pretty. Birds chirped. Mia rocked back and forth. Creak, creak. She looked peaceful. Happy. Karen saw her from her porch. She didn't like happy. Happy made her mad. She grabbed her phone. She dialed fast. Hello, police, she yelled. There's a problem at 12 Maple Lane. An ugly swing. It's against the rules. Come quick. Mia heard it. She didn't move. She didn't jump up. She didn't run inside. She just rocked. Back and forth. Sip, sip went her lemonade. Clink, clink went the ice. Karen hung up the phone. She smirked. You're done now, she called across the street. Mia looked at her. That spark in her eyes got brighter. Okay, Karen, she said. Soft as ever. The neighbors gasped. She called the cops, one whispered. Over a swing, another said. Poor Mia, a kid added. They waited. They watched. They thought Mia was toast. Karen thought so too. She stood on her porch, arms crossed. She looked proud. Like she'd won already. She thought the police would come. They'd tell Mia to take the swing down. They'd make her obey. Karen loved winning. She loved being right. But Mia wasn't worried. Not one bit. That spark in her eyes? It was growing. It wasn't just a twinkle now. It was a flame. A little fire. Karen couldn't see it. The neighbors couldn't see it. But it was there. Mia wasn't scared of cops. She wasn't scared of Karen. She wasn't scared of anything. Every mean thing Karen did. Every yell. Every threat. It was like wind blowing on a fire. It made it bigger. Hotter. Stronger. Karen thought Mia was a pushover. Someone she could boss around. Someone who'd cry and give up. She was wrong. So wrong. Mia wasn't weak. She was smart. She was tricky. She was hiding something. Something big. Every snooty word from Karen? Every clipboard scribble? It was fuel. Fuel for Mia's fire. Fuel for her plan. Karen didn't know it. But she was walking into a trap. A big one. The tension was building. You could feel it. Like a rubber band stretching. Stretch, stretch, stretch. It was gonna snap soon. Karen kept pushing. Mia kept smiling. The neighbors kept watching. Something was coming. Something wild. Something nobody expected. Mia wasn't just a girl with a swing. She was a storm. A quiet storm. And storms. They don't stay quiet forever. What would you do if someone yelled at you over a swing? Would you yell back? Would you take it down? Would you smile like Mia? Tell me below, I'm curious. Because Mia's not done yet. Karen's not done yet. This fight? It's just starting. And trust me, it's gonna get crazy. The sun was almost gone now. The sky turned dark blue. Stars started to peek out. Mia was still on her swing. Rocking. Creak, creak. Her lemonade was almost finished. Just a little left. Clink, clink went the last bits of ice. Karen stood on her porch across the street. She was still smirking. She thought the police were coming any minute. She thought Mia would be scared. She thought she'd won. Oh boy, was she wrong. Down the street, a lady named Mrs. Jenkins watched from her kitchen. She held a cup of tea. Her hands shook a little. Karen's gone too far, she whispered to her cat. The cat meowed. Mrs. Jenkins nodded. Calling the cops over a swing? That's silly. She sipped her tea. She felt bad for Mia. Everyone did. The whole neighborhood was buzzing. Whisper, whisper, whisper. Poor Mia, they all said. She's so nice. Karen's so mean. Next door to Mia, a boy named Timmy sat on his porch. He was 9. He liked Mia. She waved at him when he rode his bike. Karen never waved. Karen yelled. Timmy didn't like yelling. He hugged his knees. Why's Karen so mad about a swing? He asked his mom. His mom looked out the window. That's just Karen, she said. She hates everything fun. Timmy frowned. But Mia's not hurting anyone, he said. His mom sighed. I know, sweetie. I know. The tension was thick now. Like fog you could cut with a knife. Everyone waited. Would the cops come? Would Mia cry? Would Karen laugh and say I told you so? The air felt heavy. The dogs stopped barking. The kids stopped biking. Even the birds got quiet. It was like the whole street held its breath. Waiting. Watching. Wondering. Karen tapped her foot. Tap, tap, tap. She checked her phone. Where are they? She muttered. She'd called the police 5 minutes ago. They should be here by now. She glared at Mia. Mia rocked. Creak, creak. That spark in her eyes? It was still there. Bright. Alive. Karen didn't see it. She saw a girl who wouldn't listen. A girl who wouldn't obey. A girl she could break. That's what she thought. Wrong, wrong, wrong. Mia finished her lemonade. She set the empty glass on the porch. Clunk. She stretched her arms. She yawned. She didn't look worried. Not one bit. Karen's smirk started to fade. Why's she so calm? Karen mumbled. She didn't get it. People weren't calm when she yelled. They got mad. Or scared. Or both. But Mia? She was different. Too different. It made Karen's stomach twist. Something wasn't right. A car turned onto Maple Lane. Everyone looked. Headlights flashed. Tires rolled. Was it the police? Karen stood taller. Here they come, she said. She pointed at Mia. You're in trouble now. The car got closer. It slowed down. It stopped. But it wasn't a police car. It was just Mr. Davis. He lived 3 houses down. He waved. Evening, folks, he called. He drove past. Karen's face fell. Where are the cops? She snapped. Mia chuckled. Just a little laugh. Soft. Quiet. You'd miss it if you weren't listening. Karen heard it. She spun around. What's so funny? She yelled. Mia shrugged. Nothing, she said. Just waiting. Karen's eyes got narrow. Waiting for what? She asked. Mia smiled. That little smile. You'll see, she said. Then she rocked again. Creak, creak. Karen didn't like that. Not one bit. You'll see sounded sneaky. It sounded like trouble. Karen hated trouble she didn't start. She marched across the street again. Slap, slap, slap. She stopped in front of Mia's swing. You think you're smart, she shouted. You think you can ignore me? I run this place. Me. Not you. Mia looked up. Okay, Karen, she said. Calm. Cool. Easy. Karen's hands shook. She was so mad she could scream. She did scream. Take that swing down. Now. Or the cops will make you. Mia tilted her head. If they come, she said. Karen froze. What? She yelled. Mia shrugged again. If they come, she repeated. She rocked. Creak, creak. Karen's mouth opened. No words came out. She didn't know what to say. Mia was too weird. Too calm. Too brave. The neighbors were shocked. Did she just say that? Mrs. Jenkins whispered. Her cat meowed again. She's not scared, Timmy said. His mom nodded. She's tougher than she looks. They couldn't believe it. Mia wasn't running. She wasn't hiding. She was sitting there. Facing Karen. Smiling. Rocking. Like it was nothing. Like Karen was nothing. Karen called the police again. Hello, she shouted into her phone. I called before. Where are you? There's a swing breaking the rules. Hurry up. She hung up. She glared at Mia. They're coming, she said. You'll see. Mia nodded. Okay, Karen, she said. That spark in her eyes? It was a fire now. Small, but hot. Growing. Waiting. Minutes passed. No police. Karen paced back and forth. Her flip-flop slapped loud. Slap, slap, slap. She checked her phone. She tapped her clipboard. She muttered mean things. Stupid girl. Stupid swing. Stupid rules. The neighbors watched. They whispered more. Maybe the cops aren't coming, Mrs. Jenkins said. Maybe they don't care about a swing, Timmy's mom added. Timmy grinned. Good, he said. Mia should keep it. Karen heard them. She spun around. Shut up, she yelled at the houses. This is my street. My rules. Nobody answered. They just watched. Karen turned back to Mia. You're making me look bad, she shouted. Mia raised an eyebrow. Am I? She asked. Her voice was so soft. So smooth. Karen's face went red again. Tomato red. Yes, she snapped. You're new. You don't get to win. Mia didn't say anything. She just rocked. Creak, creak. That little smile stayed. That fire in her eyes burned. Karen didn't know what to do. She yelled more. I'll get you. I'll make you sorry. You'll wish you never moved here. Mia sipped air from her empty glass. Like she didn't care. Like Karen's words were just wind. Blowing past. Doing nothing. The night got darker. Street lights buzzed on. Yellow light spilled over the yards. Mia's swing looked old in the glow. Worn out. Simple. But it was still there. Still rocking. Karen hated it more every second. That swing, she yelled. It's mocking me. She pointed at it. Her finger shook. Mia looked at the swing. It's just wood, she said. Karen screamed. No. It's you. You're mocking me. Mia didn't laugh. She didn't yell back. She just said, okay, Karen. That made Karen madder. She stomped her foot. Stop saying that, she shouted. Stop acting like you don't care. Mia tilted her head again. But I don't, she said. Simple. True. Karen's eyes got huge. She looked like she might explode. Boom. Right there on the lawn. The neighbors couldn't look away. "She's so brave," Mrs. Jenkins said. "Karen's losing it," Timmy's mom whispered. Timmy pumped his fist. "Go, Mia," he said quietly. They all saw it now. Mia wasn't weak. She wasn't a pushover. She was something else. Something strong. Something Karen couldn't handle. Karen tried one more time. She grabbed her clipboard. She waved it like a flag. "Rule 47B, she yelled. "No ugly stuff. That swing is ugly. You're ugly." Mia stopped rocking. She looked at Karen. Straight in the eyes. That spark. It flared. Bright. Hot. "Okay, Karen," she said. But this time, her voice had an edge. Tiny. Sharp. Like a needle. Karen stepped back. She didn't know why. Something felt off. Mia stood up. Slow. Easy. She stretched again. She picked up her empty glass. "Good night, Karen," she said. She walked inside. The screen door slapped shut. Slap. Karen stood there. Alone. Mad. Confused. The swing rocked a little. Creak, creak. All by itself. The neighbors went quiet. "What just happened?" Mrs. Jenkins asked her cat. The cat didn't answer. Timmy grinned. "Mia won," he said. His mom shook her head. "Not yet," she said. "But she's not scared. That's something." They all felt it. The tension. The fight. It wasn't over. It was just getting bigger. Karen stormed home. She slammed her door. Bam. She threw her clipboard on the table. Crash. She was boiling. Mia wasn't bending. Mia wasn't breaking. Every mean word? Every loud yell? It bounced off her. Like water off a duck. Karen didn't get it. She didn't like it. She wanted Mia gone. Out of her street. Out of her rules. But Mia? She was in her house now. Lights on. Curtains closed. She wasn't gone. She wasn't leaving. That spark in her eyes? It was still there. Growing. Planning. Waiting. Karen thought she was stoking a fire. She was right. But it wasn't the fire she thought. It was Mia's fire. And it was about to burn bright. What would you do if someone yelled at you over a swing? Would you fight? Would you laugh? Would you stay calm like Mia? Tell me below, I'm curious. This fight's heating up. Karen's mad. Mia's ready. Something's coming. Stick around, it's gonna be wild. Days went by in Maple Grove. Quiet days turned into noisy ones. Karen Thompson got worse. Way worse. She didn't just yell at Mia anymore. She turned into a storm of mean. Every morning, she found something new to hate. Something new to fight about. And Mia? She stayed calm. Too calm. That made everything wilder. It started small. One day, Karen saw Mia's grass. It was a little long. Not super long. Just a tiny bit shaggy. Karen didn't care. She grabbed a sticky note. She scribbled fast. "Fix your grass," she wrote. Her handwriting was messy. Angry. She stomped over to Mia's house. Slap, slap, slap went her flip-flops. She stuck the note on Mia's door. Bam. She didn't knock. She didn't wait. She just left. Like a grumpy tornado. Mia found the note later. She was carrying groceries. Bread, milk, apples. Simple stuff. She saw the yellow paper flapping on her door. She peeled it off. She read it. "Fix your grass," it said. Mia tilted her head. She looked at her yard. The grass waved in the wind. It didn't look bad to her. She shrugged. She didn't yell. She didn't rip the note up. She just folded it. Nice and neat. Then she slipped it into her pocket. Weird, right? Most people would get mad. Not Mia. The next day, Karen was back. This time, it was the mailbox. Mia had painted it blue. Bright blue. Like the sky on a sunny day. Mia liked it. It made her smile. But Karen? She hated it. She marched over with another note. Your mailbox is too bright, she wrote. She stuck it on the door again. Bam. She glared at the mailbox. Her nose wrinkled up. Ugly, she muttered. Then she stormed off. Slap, slap, slap. Mia came home from a walk. She saw the new note. She pulled it off. She read it. Your mailbox is too bright, it said. She glanced at her mailbox. It glowed in the sun. Pretty, she thought. She smiled a little. That tiny smile. She didn't paint it over. She didn't call Karen mean names. She folded the note again. Neat and tidy. Into her pocket it went. 2 notes now. 2 little secrets. Karen didn't stop there. Oh no. She kept going. She watched Mia like a hawk. Every day, she found something. One morning, it was the flowers. Too yellow, she scribbled. Another day, it was the trash can. Too close to the street, she wrote. She stuck notes on Mia's door all the time. Sticky notes everywhere. Yellow ones. Pink ones. Even a green one once. Mia's door looked like a rainbow of grumpiness. Karen was on a mission. A mean mission. The neighbors saw it all. They peeked from their windows. They talked over fences. Karen's gone crazy, Mrs. Jenkins said to her cat. The cat meowed. She's leaving notes every day, Timmy's mom whispered. Timmy nodded. She hates Mia, he said. They felt bad. Poor Mia, they all said. She doesn't stand a chance against Karen. They thought Mia was toast. Done for. Kaput. Karen was too loud. Too bossy. Too strong. But Mia? She didn't fight back. She didn't yell. She didn't cry. She just watched. Every time Karen came over, Mia's eyes followed her. Quiet eyes. Smart eyes. She listened too. She heard every mean word. Fix your grass. Your mailbox is too bright. Take that swing down. Mia didn't miss a thing. She was like a sponge. Soaking it all up. Storing it away. And here's the big thing nobody noticed. Mia had a little black notebook. Tiny. Smaller than a sandwich. She kept it in her pocket. The same pocket with the notes. Every time Karen left, Mia pulled it out. She flipped it open. She wrote stuff down. Scribble, scribble. Quick and sneaky. Nobody saw her do it. Not Karen. Not the neighbors. Not even the birds in the trees. What was she writing? Nobody knew. It was a secret. A quiet, sneaky secret. Karen kept getting worse. She didn't just leave notes now. She took pictures. Yep, pictures. One day, she stood in Mia's yard. She held her phone up. Click, click, click. She snapped photos of the swing. That old wooden swing Mia loved. Karen zoomed in. She zoomed out. She turned her phone sideways. Click, click. Evidence, she said. She sounded proud. Like a detective in a movie. This swing breaks the rules. I've got proof now. Mia was inside. She heard the clicks. She peeked out her window. She saw Karen with the phone. Karen looked silly. Stomping around. Taking pictures of a swing. Mia didn't run out. She didn't yell, stop it. She just watched. Her eyes had that spark again. That little twinkle. She pulled out her notebook. Scribble, scribble. She wrote something. Then she closed it. Back in her pocket it went. Calm as ever. The neighbors whispered more. Karen's nuts, Mr. Davis said. He was watering his plants. Pictures of a swing. Mrs. Jenkins shook her head. She's lost it, Timmy's mom added. Timmy giggled. She looks funny, he said. They all agreed. Karen was going too far. Way too far. But they still thought Mia was doomed. She's so quiet, they said. Karen's gonna win. Days turned into weeks. Karen's notes piled up. Her pictures filled her phone. She even made a list. A big one. On her clipboard, of course. Mia's crimes, She called it grass, mailbox, flowers, swing, trash can, everything. She showed it to the neighbors. See, she yelled. She's breaking all the rules. The neighbors nodded. They didn't want to argue. Karen was scary when she yelled. Poor Mia, they whispered again. She doesn't know what's coming. But Mia knew. Oh, she knew. She wasn't clueless. She wasn't weak. She was watching. Listening. Writing. Every note Karen left. Mia kept it. Every picture Karen took. Mia saw it. Every mean word Karen said. Mia heard it. She didn't miss a beat. That little black notebook got fatter. Page after page. Scribble, scribble. What was in there? What was she doing? Nobody had a clue. But something was up. Something sneaky. Then, one night, Karen went too far. Way too far. It was dark outside. Stars twinkled. The moon was big and round. Mia was on her porch. She stood there, not sitting. No swing this time. She held her lemonade. Clink, clink went the ice. She looked at the sky. Peaceful. Happy. Karen saw her from across the street. She didn't like peaceful. She didn't like happy. She grabbed her phone. She dialed fast. 911. Karen screeched into the phone. Emergency. There's an illegal swing at 12 Maple Lane. Send someone now. Her voice was loud. Shrill. Like a siren. The dispatcher answered. Again, he said. He sighed. Karen was famous at the police station. She called all the time. About grass. About noise. About nothing. The dispatcher didn't want to hear it. A swing, he asked. Yes. Karen yelled. It's ugly. It's against the rules. Hurry. She hung up. She smirked. Got her now, she said. Mia heard it all. The porch wasn't far. Karen's voice carried. Loud and clear. Mia didn't jump. She didn't drop her glass. She didn't run inside. She just stood there. Calm as ever. She sipped her lemonade. Clink, clink. She looked at Karen. That spark in her eyes? It was bright now. Really bright. Like a star. Karen didn't see it. She was too busy smirking. Too busy winning. Or so she thought. The neighbors heard it too. Windows cracked open. Heads poked out. She called 911. Mrs. Jenkins gasped. Her cat jumped off the sill. Over a swing. Mr. Davis said. He dropped his hose. She's crazy. Timmy's mom whispered. Timmy ran to the window. Cool, he said. They couldn't believe it. 911 for a swing? That was wild. Too wild. Poor Mia, they said again. She's done for. But here's the kicker. Mia wasn't done. Not even close. She stood on her porch. Calm. Steady. Sipping. Watching. Karen ranted across the street. The cops are coming, she yelled. You'll see. That swing's gone. Mia didn't answer. She didn't need to. She pulled out her notebook. In the dark. Under the porch light. Scribble, scribble. She wrote something. Quick. Sneaky. Then it went back in her pocket. Karen didn't notice. She was too loud. Too proud. But something was up. Something big. Mia wasn't scared. She wasn't mad. She was ready. That notebook. Those notes. That spark. They meant something. Something Karen couldn't even dream of. Something wild was brewing. Something sneaky. Something huge. The neighbors waited. Would the cops come? Would Mia lose? They didn't know. But they saw Mia standing there. Calm as a rock. Sipping like it was nothing. She's not normal, Mrs. Jenkins said. She's tough, Timmy's mom added. Timmy grinned. She's awesome, he said. They were starting to wonder. Maybe Mia wasn't so helpless. Maybe she had a trick. A big one. Karen kept yelling. "You're in trouble now," she shouted. "Big trouble." Mia finished her lemonade. She set the glass down. Clunk. She looked at Karen. That smile came back. Tiny. Secret. "Okay, Karen," she said. Soft. Quiet. But strong. Karen didn't hear the strength. She didn't see the spark. She didn't know what was coming. Days of notes. Weeks of pictures. A night of 911 calls. It was all building up. Mia watched it all. She listened. She wrote. Little by little, she was doing something. Something nobody saw. Something Karen couldn't stop. The swing? The grass? The mailbox? They weren't the real story. Mia was. And her little black notebook? That was the key. Can you guess what Mia's planning? What's in that notebook? Why's she so calm? It's about to get wild. Stick around, because this is just the start. Karen's digging a hole. Mia's setting a trap. And Maple Grove? It's gonna flip upside down. The sun came up over Maple Grove. It was a new day. A big day. The air felt different. Not calm like usual. Not quiet. It buzzed. Like something huge was about to happen. Nobody knew it yet. Nobody but Mia. She was ready. Oh, she was so ready. Karen Thompson woke up early. She stood on her porch. Her arms were crossed. Her clipboard dangled from her hand. She looked across the street at Mia's house. That swing was still there. Creaking in the breeze. Creak, creak. Karen hated it. She hated Mia. She'd called the police last night. 911. Over a swing. She thought they'd come right away. They didn't. That made her mad. Really mad. But now, it was morning. She was sure they'd show up soon. That swing's toast, she muttered. She smirked. A big, mean smirk. She couldn't wait to win. The neighbors were up too. Mrs. Jenkins sipped tea by her window. Her cat sat next to her. Timmy and his mom ate cereal in their kitchen. Mr. Davis watered his flowers. They all looked out. They all waited. Karen said the cops were coming, Mrs. Jenkins whispered. She's gonna get Mia, Timmy's mom said. Timmy frowned. I hope not, he mumbled. They felt bad for Mia. Poor Mia. That's what they kept saying. They thought Karen was too strong. Too mean. Too loud. Then it happened. A police car rolled down Maple Lane. Its tires crunched on the pavement. Crunch, crunch. Its lights weren't flashing. No sirens. Just quiet. But everyone saw it. Karen's smirk got bigger. Finally, she said. She rubbed her hands together. She bounced on her toes. That stupid swing is gone, she said. She stood tall. Arms still crossed. Ready to watch Mia lose. Ready to laugh. Ready to say, I told you so. The car stopped. Right in the middle of the street. Between Mia's house and Karen's. The door opened. A cop stepped out. He was tall. He wore a blue uniform. His hat sat low on his head. He looked serious. Karen waved at him. Over here, she called. The problem's at 12 Maple Lane. She pointed at Mia's porch. At the swing. It's ugly. It breaks the rules. Get it down. She sounded so sure. So bossy. Like always. But the cop didn't move. He didn't walk to Mia's porch. He didn't even look at the swing. Nope. He turned the other way. He walked straight to Karen's house. Step, step, step. His boots clicked on the sidewalk. Click, click. Karen's smirk froze. Her arms dropped. Her clipboard clattered to the ground. Clang. Wait, what? She squeaked. Her voice went high. Like a mouse. She blinked fast. She didn't get it. Why was he coming to her? The neighbors gasped. Mrs. Jenkins spilled her tea. Splash. He's going to Karen, she said. Her cat jumped. Timmy dropped his spoon. Clink. No way, he shouted. His mom's jaw dropped. Mr. Davis turned off his hose. "What's happening?" he mumbled. They all leaned closer to their windows. Eyes wide. Hearts thumping. This wasn't right. This wasn't what Karen said would happen. Then Mia stepped forward. She'd been inside. Quiet. Waiting. Now she was here. Right on her porch. She didn't have her lemonade this time. No swing rocking. No smile. She looked different. Stronger. Taller. She held something in her hand. That little black notebook. The one nobody noticed. It was small. Dark. Full of secrets. She walked down her steps. Step, step. She stopped in front of the cop. Everyone watched. Everyone held their breath. "Officer," Mia said. Her voice was loud. Clear. Not soft like before. Not quiet. "I'm Mia Parker." She stood straight. Her eyes locked on the cop. "I'm an undercover investigator." Boom. The words hit like a thunderclap. Karen's eyes went huge. The neighbors gasped again. Louder this time. "What?" Mrs. Jenkins squeaked. "Investigator." Timmy yelled. "Cool." His mom shushed him. Mr. Davis dropped his watering can. Clunk. Nobody moved. Nobody blinked. Mia kept going. "I've been tracking HOA violations," she said. "Real ones. Not swings. Not grass. Not mailboxes." She turned. She pointed at Karen. Right at her. "She's been stealing from the neighborhood. For years. Taking money. Our money." Her voice was sharp now. Like a knife. Karen's face went white. Pure white. Like a ghost. "No," she squeaked. "That's a lie." But her voice shook. She stepped back. Bump. She hit her own door. Mia didn't stop. She flipped open her notebook. Pages rustled. Flip, flip. "I've got proof," she said. She held it up. High. So everyone could see. Dates. Amounts. Pictures. She turned a page. October 5th. She took $500. Said it was for new signs. No signs came. Flip. December 12th. $300 for a party. No party happened. Flip. Last month. $1,000. For repairs. Nothing got fixed. She looked at Karen. Where'd the money go? Karen's mouth opened. No words came out. She flapped her hands. Like a bird with no wings. I didn't," she stammered. Mia didn't blink. She turned another page. "Here," she said. She showed a picture. A tiny photo taped in the notebook. It was Karen's car. A fancy red car. Shiny. New. Bought last year, Mia said. With our money. HOA money. Money we paid. She looked at the cop. "That's stealing. The neighbors lost it." "Her car." Mrs. Jenkins shouted. "She took my money." Mr. Davis yelled. "I paid $50 last month." Timmy's mom gasped. "That's why our street's a mess." Timmy jumped up. "She's a thief," he said. They weren't whispering anymore. They were loud. Mad. Shocked. They leaned out their windows. They pointed at Karen. "Thief," they yelled. "Liar." Karen shook her head. "No. No. No," she screamed. "She's lying. She's new. She's nobody." But nobody listened. The cop stepped closer. "Ma'am," he said. His voice was low. "Calm. You're coming with us." He pulled out handcuffs. Click, click. They sparkled in the sun. Karen's eyes got bigger. "What?" she squeaked again. "Me. Not her." She pointed at Mia. "She's the problem. Her swing." The cop didn't care. He took her arm. Gentle but firm. "Let's go," he said. Karen pulled back. "No. You can't. I'm the president. I make the rules." She kicked her feet. Thump, thump. She dropped her phone. Crack. It hit the ground. She didn't stop. This is wrong. She's lying. That notebook's fake. But the cop didn't listen. He walked her to the car. Step, step. Mia stood there. Notebook in hand. She didn't smile. She didn't cheer. She just watched. That spark in her eyes? It was a fire now. A big one. Bright. Hot. Strong. The neighbors stared at her. She's an investigator, Mrs. Jenkins said. Her tea was cold now. Undercover, Mr. Davis added. She tricked Karen, Timmy's mom said. Timmy grinned. She's a hero, he shouted. Karen kept yelling. Let me go. This is my street. The cop opened the car door. He put her inside. Sit down, he said. She didn't. She squirmed. I didn't steal. She's crazy, she screamed. The door shut. Slam. Her voice got muffled. You'll see. I'll be back. But nobody believed her. Not anymore. Mia turned to the neighbors. They were all outside now. On their porches. In their yards. Staring. She held up her notebook. I've been here for a reason, she said. To stop her. To help you. She pointed at Karen's car. The cop nodded. We've got more proof, he said. Bank papers. Receipts. She's been stealing a long time. Mia nodded back. Years, she said. Mrs. Jenkins walked over. Slow. Shaky. You mean, all our money, she asked. Mia nodded. Most of it, she said. She spent it on herself. Cars. Clothes. Trips. Mr. Davis joined her. My $1.50, he said. Where'd it go? Mia flipped a page. A new purse, she said. Last week. She showed a picture. A shiny purse. Fancy. Expensive. Mr. Davis turned red. My $1.50, he yelled. Timmy ran out. His mom followed. Did she take my birthday money, he asked. He'd given $5 to the HOA. For a kid party. Mia shook her head. No party, she said. She kept it. Timmy's eyes got big. She stole my $5. His mom hugged him. She stole from all of us, she said. They looked at Karen. She was in the car. Yelling still. Banging on the window. Thump, thump. The cop walked back to Mia. Good work, he said. We've been watching her too. But you got the proof. Mia nodded. It's all here, she said. She tapped her notebook. Every penny. The cop tipped his hat. You're brave, he said. Mia shrugged. Just doing my job, she said. But her eyes said more. They said she'd won. Big time. Karen's car started. Vroom. The cop got in. Wait. Karen screamed. This is a mistake. The car rolled away. Crunch, crunch went the tires. Karen's face pressed on the glass. Red. Mad. Scared. The neighbors cheered. Bye, Karen. Timmy yelled. Good riddance. Mrs. Jenkins said. Thief. Mr. Davis shouted. They waved. They clapped. They smiled. Mia stood still. Notebook in hand. The swing rocked behind her. Creak, creak. The sun climbed higher. Warm. Bright. The street felt different now. Lighter. Freer. Karen was gone. Mia had done it. The big reveal was out. She wasn't just a girl with a swing. She was an investigator. A hero. A secret weapon. Boom. Who saw that coming? Not Karen. Not the neighbors. Nobody but Mia. She'd planned it all. Watched. Waited. Won. The notebook was her power. The proof was her punch. Karen thought she was the boss. Nope. Mia was. And now everyone knew. The neighbors crowded around. How'd you do it? Timmy asked. Mia smiled. Finally. A real smile. I listened, she said. I watched. I wrote it down. She tapped her notebook. She didn't see me coming. Mrs. Jenkins laughed. She didn't. Mr. Davis nodded. You're amazing, he said. Timmy's mom hugged her. Thank you, she whispered. Mia looked at them all. She's gone now, she said. We're safe. The swing creaked. The sun shone. The day felt new. Karen's smirk? Gone. Her clipboard? Useless. Her rules? Broken. Mia had flipped Maple Grove upside down. And it felt good. Really good. The police car was ready to go. Karen was inside. Her hands were stuck in shiny silver handcuffs. Click, click, they'd gone on. She didn't like it. Not one bit. She squirmed in the back seat. She kicked her feet. Thump, thump. This is a mistake, she yelled. Her voice was loud, even through the window. You've got the wrong person. Let me go. But the cop didn't listen. He just shook his head. He'd heard enough. The cop held her arm tight. Not mean tight. Just firm. Like he meant business. He'd walked her from her porch to the car. Step, step, step. Karen pulled back. She twisted. She tried to wiggle free. No, she shouted. I didn't do anything. She's lying. She pointed at Mia with her eyes. Her hands couldn't point. They were stuck. But the cop kept going. He opened the car door. In you go, he said. Calm. Steady. Karen didn't want to. This is my street, she screamed. You can't take me. Mia stood on her porch. Tall. Quiet. Her little black notebook was still in her hand. She watched it all. She didn't cheer. She didn't laugh. She just stood there. Strong. The swing behind her moved a little. Creak, creak. The breeze pushed it. Back and forth. It was peaceful. Funny, right? Everything was wild around her, but the swing stayed calm. Just like Mia. The neighbors? They weren't calm. Oh no. They were loud. Happy. Crazy happy. The car door shut. Slam. Karen was inside now. And the cheering started. Woohoo, yelled Tim Babel MRS. Jenkins ran out her door. She's gone, she shouted. Her tea was still spilled on her floor, but she didn't care. Good riddance. Mr. Davis waved his arms. Finally. Timmy jumped up and down. She's outta here. His mom clapped. Yes. 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 They crowded the street. All of them. Smiling. Laughing. Cheering. Turns out, they'd hated Karen's rules for years. All those mean notes. All those dumb laws. No fun allowed. Timmy's mom said, mocking Karen's voice. No loud music. Mr. Davis added. No bright colors. Mrs. Jenkins giggled. No swings. Timmy shouted. They'd been scared of her. Quiet around her. But not anymore. They were free. And they loved it. Karen banged on the car window. Thump, thump. Let me out, she yelled. Her face was red. Her hair was messy. She didn't look like the boss now. She looked small. Silly. This isn't fair, she cried. But nobody cared. The cop started the car. Vroom. The engine growled. Time to go, he said. The tires rolled. Crunch, crunch. The car moved down Maple Lane. Slow at first. Then faster. Karen's voice faded. You'll be sorry, she screamed. But it was just noise now. Quiet noise. Gone noise. The neighbors kept cheering. Bye-bye, Karen. Timmy yelled. He waved both hands. Don't come back. Mrs. Jenkins called. Her cat meowed loud. Like it was cheering too. Mr. Davis danced a little. Silly steps. Hop, hop. She's outta here, he sang. Timmy's mom hugged Timmy. We're safe now, she said. They all felt it. The air was lighter. The sun was brighter. The street was theirs again. Mia stepped off her porch. She walked to the middle of the street. Everyone looked at her. She held her notebook up. Just a little. The HOA's getting a cleanup, she said. Her voice was clear. Not loud. Not soft. Just right. No more bullies running the show. She looked at them all. Mrs. Jenkins. Mr. Davis. Timmy. His mom. Even the cat. We're done with that, she said. The neighbors clapped. Yeah. Timmy shouted. No more Karen. Mrs. Jenkins nodded. You're the best, Mia. Mr. Davis grinned. Our hero. Timmy's mom wiped her eyes. Thank you, she said. Her voice was shaking. Happy shaking. They crowded around Mia. Close. Warm. Like a big family. They weren't scared anymore. They were proud. Proud of her. The police car was gone now. Out of sight. Down the road. Around the corner. Karen was on her way. Far away. To face charges. That's what the cop said. Charges. Big ones. Stealing money. Lying. Breaking laws. Real laws. Not silly HOA rules. Mia's notebook had it all. Dates. Numbers. Pictures. Proof. Solid proof. Karen couldn't talk her way out. Not this time. Mia put her notebook in her pocket. She looked at her swing. Still there. Still creaking. Creak, creak. She walked back to it. Slow steps. Easy steps. She sat down. The wood was warm. The sun was high now. Shining bright. She rocked a little. Back and forth. Back and forth. Peaceful again. Like it was meant to be. By the next week, things were different. Really different. Karen was gone for good. Locked up. Facing a judge. The news spread fast. HOA thief caught, the paper said. Everyone read it. Everyone talked about it. She stole thousands. Mrs. Jenkins told her cat. Years of it. Mr. Davis said to his flowers. My $5. Timmy told his friends. They all knew now. Mia had saved them. All of them. The neighborhood changed. Fast. Happy changes. People waved at Mia now. Every day. Every time she rocked on her swing. Morning, Mia. Mrs. Jenkins called. She held fresh cookies. Hey, Mia. Timmy shouted. He rode his bike past. Zoom, zoom. Thanks, Mia. Mr. Davis yelled. He fixed his fence. Bang, bang. Timmy's mom brought her flowers. For you, she said. Red ones. Bright ones. Mia smiled. That little smile. Thanks, she said. Soft. Nice. The HOA got new rules. Good ones. Fair ones. No more no fun stuff. Play loud music, the new list said. Paint bright colors, it added. Put up swings, it cheered. Everyone voted. Everyone agreed. Mia helped write it. She sat at a table. Pen in hand. Scribble, scribble. This is better, she said. The neighbors nodded. Way better, Timmy's mom said. Perfect, Mrs. Jenkins added. They signed it. All of them. A new start. The street felt free again. Kids laughed. Dogs barked. Birds sang. No more mean notes on doors. No more Karen stomping around. Slap, slap, slap. No more clipboard waving. No more yelling. Just quiet. Happy quiet. The kind that feels good. The kind that stays. Mia rocked on her swing every day. Creak, creak. She sipped lemonade. Clink, clink went the ice. She watched the sunset. Orange. Pink. Purple. Pretty colors. The neighbors joined her sometimes. Mrs. Jenkins sat on the steps. Timmy flopped on the grass. Mr. Davis leaned on the rail. Timmy's mom stood close. They talked. They laughed. Remember Karen? Timmy said. So mad. Mrs. Jenkins giggled. So gone. Mr. Davis added. They all laughed. Big laughs. Belly laughs. The money came back. Some of it. Not all. But enough. The police found it. In Karen's bank. In her fancy car. In her shiny purse. They gave it to the HOA. For you, the cop said. Mia took it. She shared it. New signs, she said. Real ones this time. A party, Timmy cheered. A kid party. With cake. Repairs, Mr. Davis nodded. For the street. They fixed potholes. Bang, bang. They painted benches. Swish, swish. It felt fair. It felt right. Mia wasn't the new girl anymore. Not helpless. Not quiet little Mia. She was the hero. The star. The one who flipped it all. People stopped whispering poor Mia. They said brave Mia now. Strong Mia. Our Mia. She didn't look big. Her bun was still messy. Her sneakers were still old. But inside. She was huge. Tough. Amazing. The swing stayed up. Always. Creak, creak. A sign of winning. A sign of freedom. Karen hated it. That made it better. Her worst nightmare. Timmy giggled. Our best day. Mrs. Jenkins said. They all loved it. They all sat on it sometimes. Rocking. Laughing. Happy. Weeks turned to months. Maple Grove stayed free. No bullies. No thieves. Just neighbors. Good ones. Mia kept her notebook. Just in case. Tucked away. Safe. She didn't need it now. But it was there. Her little weapon. Her big win. Justice felt good. Really good. Karen was gone. Mia was here. The street was alive. The rules were fun. The money was back. Everything clicked. Right where it belonged. All because one new girl wasn't new or helpless at all. She was Mia. And Mia was everything. What's your favorite part so far? Was it the handcuffs? The cheers? The swing? Tell me below. Justice feels awesome, doesn't it? Mia made it happen. And Maple Grove? It's never been better. Mia's story is done now. All wrapped up. Karen's gone. The swing's still here. Maple Grove is happy again. But this isn't just a story about a swing or a mean lady. Nope. It's bigger than that. Way bigger. It's a story that teaches us stuff. Cool stuff. Stuff we can use every day. Stuff that makes us think. Stuff that makes us smile. Let's talk about Mia. She proves one big thing. One super important thing. Don't judge someone by their sneakers. Or their swing. Or their messy hair. Mia's sneakers were old. Holes in the toes. Scuffs on the sides. Her bun was all over the place. Wisps sticking out. Tangled up. She didn't look fancy. She didn't look tough. She looked regular. Plain. Like any kid on the block. But guess what? She wasn't plain inside. Not even close. The quiet ones. They might be the strongest. That's what Mia showed us. She didn't yell. She didn't stomp. She didn't wave a clipboard or call people names. She just watched. She listened. She wrote in her little black notebook. Scribble, scribble. She smiled that tiny smile. She rocked on her swing. Creak, creak. She was quiet. Super quiet. But that quiet? It was power. Big power. Huge power. The kind that sneaks up and surprises you. Karen didn't see it. Oh no. Karen thought loud was strong. She thought yelling was winning. She thought her rules made her the boss. Fix your grass, she shouted. Take that swing down, she barked. She stomped around. Slap, slap, slap went her flip-flops. She waved her clipboard like a flag. She called the cops over nothing. She was loud. Really loud. A loudmouth. She thought that made her in charge. She thought it made her big. But loudmouths? They're usually the ones who crash the hardest. That's what happened to Karen. She crashed. Big time. Boom. Handcuffs on. Car rolling away. Crunch, crunch. Her smirk gone. Her rules gone. Her fancy car? Not hers anymore. She fell fast. Hard. Loud doesn't always win. Loud can lose. Loud can trip. Loud can crash. And Karen? She crashed so hard everyone cheered. Mia didn't crash. She stood tall. She won. Quiet one. Sneaky one. Smart one. That's the trick. You don't have to be loud to be strong. You don't have to yell to be right. You can be soft. You can be calm. You can be a girl with old sneakers and a swing. And still be the toughest one around. That's what Mia's story says. That's what it proves. So what do we do with that? How do we use it? Easy. Next time someone tries to push you around, think of Mia. Picture her. Rocking on her swing. Sipping lemonade. Clink, clink. Smiling that little smile. Someone's mean to you. Someone's loud. Someone's bossy. Don't yell back. Don't cry. Don't run. Smile like Mia. Watch like Mia. Wait like Mia. You never know who's got the real power. Maybe it's you. Maybe you're the strong one. Maybe you're the hero. Think about your life. Ever meet a Karen? A loudmouth? Someone who thinks they're the boss of you? Maybe at school. A kid who yells on the playground. Give me your ball, they shout. Or a teacher who's mean for no reason. Sit down. Be quiet, they snap. Or at home. A big brother who takes your stuff. It's mine now, he laughs. They're loud. They're pushy. They think they win. But do they? Mia says no. Mia says you can beat them. Not with yelling. Not with fighting. With quiet. With smart. With a plan. Like her notebook. Scribble, scribble. She didn't need to scream. She didn't need to stomp. She just watched. She waited. She won. You can too. You don't need new sneakers. You don't need a big voice. You just need you. The real you. The strong you. Karen judged Mia wrong. Big mistake. She saw the sneakers. She saw the swing. She saw the messy bun. She thought, easy. Weak. I'll crush her. Nope. Wrong. Crash. Karen didn't look deeper. She didn't see the spark in Mia's eyes. She didn't see the fire inside. She didn't see the notebook. She judged too fast. Too loud. And she lost everything. Don't be like Karen. Don't judge fast. Don't think loud is best. Look at people. Really look. The quiet kid in class. The one who sits in the back. Maybe they're smart. Maybe they're brave. The girl with old clothes. The one who doesn't talk much. Maybe she's tough. Maybe she's amazing. You don't know. Not yet. Give them a chance. See the real them. Not just the outside. And don't let loudmouths scare you. They're loud. So what? Noise isn't power. Noise is just noise. Karen's yelling? Just wind. Blowing past. Doing nothing. Mia's quiet? That was the storm. The real storm. The one that won. You can be a storm too. A quiet one. A strong one. A winner. What if you're the quiet one? What if you're like Mia? Good news. You're already strong. You don't need to change. You don't need to shout. You've got power inside. Right now. Today. Use it. Watch. Listen. Plan. Smile. Let the loudmouths crash. They will. They always do. Just like Karen. Picture Mia now. On her swing. Creak, creak. Lemonade in her hand. Clink, clink. Sun setting. Neighbors waving. Hey, Mia, they call. She smiles back. She's free. They're free. All because she didn't judge. All because she didn't yell. All because she was herself. Plain old Mia. With a big, secret strength. That's the lesson. Be you. Be smart. Be quiet if you want. Be loud if you want. But be strong. Always strong. Inside strong. The kind nobody sees coming. The kind that flips everything upside down. The kind that beats the bullies. The kind that wins. Karen's gone now. Handcuffs on. Car driving away. Crash landed. Mia's here. Swing rocking. Hero shining. Maple Grove is happy. Justice won. Fair one. Quiet one. That's the story. That's the truth. And it's yours too. Take it. Use it. Smile like Mia. You've got the power. You've always had it. Think about your own Karens. Your own swings. Your own fights. Who's loud in your world? Who's trying to push you? What's your notebook? What's your plan? You don't need one yet. But you can make one. You can watch. You can wait. You can win. Just like Mia did. Just like she always will. The sun sets every day. Orange. Pink. Purple. Pretty. It's quiet. It's strong. It doesn't yell. It just shines. Be like that. Shine your way. Quiet or loud. Big or small. You're enough. You're more than enough. You're Mia. Maybe not with a swing. Maybe not with a notebook. But with you. The real you. The best you. Thanks for sticking with me. This story's over, but it's not gone. It's in you now. Mia's in you. Her swing's in you. Her smile's in you. Drop a comment below. Tell me what you think of Karen's big crash. Tell me if you've got your own HOA horror story. Tell me who's your Karen. Tell me who's your Mia. I want to know. See you in the next one, okay? Keep smiling. Keep shining. You're the hero now. So, what's next? You've got Mia's story in your head now. You've got her swing. Her smile. Her sneaky strength. What do you do with it? That's the fun part. You take it with you. Everywhere. To school. To the park. To your room. Everywhere you go, Mia's there. Not really there, like a ghost. But there in your mind. Helping you. Cheering you on. Let's think about school. You're in class. There's a kid. A loud kid. Maybe his name's Jake. Jake's always talking. Always bossing. Give me your pencil, he yells. Sit here, he snaps. I'm the best at kickball, he brags. He's loud. Like Karen. He thinks he's in charge. Everyone listens to him. They're scared. They give him stuff. They let him win. He's the king of the room. Or so he thinks. But then there's you. Quiet you. Sitting at your desk. Drawing doodles. Eating your snack. You don't yell back at Jake. You don't fight him. You just watch. Like Mia watched Karen. You see him take pencils. You hear him brag. You notice he's loud but not smart. Not really. You smile a little. A tiny smile. Like Mia's. Jake doesn't see it. He's too busy shouting. But you've got a plan. Maybe not a notebook plan. Maybe just a head plan. You wait. One day, Jake goes too far. He takes your favorite pencil. The one with stars on it. Mine now, he says. He laughs. Loud. Mean. Everyone looks. They think you'll cry. They think you'll run to the teacher. But you don't. You smile again. Okay, Jake, you say. Soft. Calm. Just like Mia said, okay, Karen. Jake blinks. He's confused. You're not mad. You're not scared? Nope. You're Mia now. Later, you tell the teacher. Quietly. When Jake's not around. He took my pencil, you say. You show her your empty desk. You don't yell. You don't tattle loud. You just tell. The teacher nods. She watches Jake. She catches him next time. Give it back, she says. Jake's mad. No fair, he shouts. but he's caught. He crashes. Like Karen. Loud doesn't win. Quiet does. You get your pencil back. You smile. You're strong. Like Mia. That's how it works. Everywhere. Not just school. Maybe the park. There's a big kid on the swings. She won't share. My swing, she yells. She pushes kids away. She's loud. She's mean. Everyone runs. But you? You wait. You watch. You see her leave for a snack. You take the swing. Quiet. Easy. She comes back. Hey, she shouts. You smile. My turn now, you say. Calm. She stomps off. You rock. Creak, creak. You win. Quiet wins. Or at home. Your sister. She's loud. My TV time, she yells. She grabs the remote. She thinks she's the boss. You don't fight. You don't scream. You wait. She falls asleep. Snore, snore. You take the remote. You watch your show. Quiet. Smart. Strong. Like Mia. Loud crashes. Quiet stays. Mia's story is your story now. You can use it. Every day. When someone's mean. When someone's loud. When someone thinks they're better. Smile like Mia. Wait like Mia. Be you. The real you. The strong you. You don't need to be loud to be big. You don't need to shout to be heard. You just need to know who you are. Inside. Deep down. That's where the power hides. Think about Karen again. Poor Karen. She thought loud was everything. She thought rules were everything. She thought she could push Mia around. Wrong. So wrong. She judged too fast. She saw sneakers. She saw a swing. She saw a quiet girl. She didn't see the investigator. She didn't see the notebook. She didn't see the fire. Crash. Boom. Gone. That's what happens when you judge wrong. When you think loud is all that matters. Now think about you. Who's judging you? Who's looking at your sneakers? Your hair? Your quiet voice? Who's thinking, they're weak? They're small. They're nothing? Let them. Let them think it. Smile inside. Know the truth. You're not weak. You're not small. You're not nothing. You're Mia. You've got a spark. A fire. A plan. They'll see. One day. Just like Karen saw. And what about the loudmouths in your life? The Jakes. The swing girls. The sisters. They're out there. Yelling. Pushing. Crashing. They don't last. They can't. Loud runs out. Loud trips. Loud falls. You don't have to push them. You don't have to fight them. Just wait. Watch. Smile. They'll crash all by themselves. And you'll still be here. Rocking. Winning. Shining. Mia's swing is a picture in your head now. Creak, creak. Lemonade in her hand. Clink, clink. Neighbors waving. Sun setting. It's not just a swing. It's a lesson. A big one. It says, be you. It says, be strong. It says, don't give up. It's yours now. Take it. Hold it. Use it. Every time you feel small. Every time you feel pushed. Picture that swing. Picture Mia. You've got this. What's your swing? What's your thing? Maybe it's a bike. Maybe it's a book. Maybe it's a song you sing. Something small. Something yours. Something a loudmouth might laugh at. That's dumb, they say. That's ugly, they shout. Let them. Your swing is your power. Your quiet place. Your win. Keep it. Love it. Rock it. Just like Mia did. The world's full of Karens. Full of loud. Full of mean. But it's full of MIAs too. Full of quiet. Full of strong. You pick who you want to be. Loud and crashing? Or quiet and winning? Easy choice, right? Mia's choice. Your choice. The best choice. So smile like Mia. Next time someone's mean. Next time someone's loud. Next time someone tries to take your swing your thing, smile. Wait. Watch. Win. You've got the real power. The kind that doesn't yell. The kind that doesn't crash. The kind that lasts. You're the quiet storm now. You're the hero now. You're you. And that's everything. Thanks for sticking with me. This story's been wild, huh? Karen's big fall. Mia's big win. The swing that started it all. Drop a comment below. Tell me what you think of Karen's crash. Tell me if you've got a loudmouth in your life. Tell me your own HOA horror story. Or your own Mia moment. I want to hear it. See you in the next one, okay? Keep being awesome. Keep being you. You're the best.